Hello there. Your prison may not be the one that Joseph had, may not be similar to a regular prison where you're in a room with a locked gate, but it may be a prison of addiction, a prison of just guilt, of regret, a prison of health issues, whatever it is. God is going to be with you even in that time, just like he was with Joseph. It's important as we study Genesis 40 and remember these aren't stories. These are real events. These are real people who suffered and dealt with real problems and real situations. Now here you have these two men, the cupbearer of the king and the baker of the king of Egypt, the Pharaoh, that were probably thrown in prison for conspiracy of murder. We don't really know for sure, but either way, the Pharaoh was angry with them. And even while Joseph was in prison, he was still in charge of other people. He was still serving other people, giving them, what God told him to do. He had a heart for others in need, just like Jesus, when he comes to us and he says, what do you need? Why are you so sad? What is going on right now with you? Just like we are supposed to be with each other as Christians, following suit, seeking to help other people, even when we're in our own prison, even when we're in our own thing. And I love that Joseph's like, only God can interpret dreams. Go ahead and tell me what the dream was. He trusted God, even though it had been so long since he'd had his own dreams, his own two dreams. He didn't lose faith that God was going to keep his promises of those dreams that he made. God speaks to many pagans in history, throughout the Bible even, in dreams. Abimelech, Laban, the Midianites, and even people that are following him. Solomon, Jacob, Solomon, Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel, Pilate's wife. All of these people in the scripture heard from God through dreams. Even now, you hear about people hearing from God in dreams now. So Joseph has this interpretation, and it's interesting when you look at the pattern through scripture of threes, of twos. 2 or 3 witnesses is always the case. And here we see that this whole thing is God demonstrating between 2 or 3 witnesses something will be established. That's how it is. 2 years go by before Pharaoh has his dreams, and the guy that doesn't end up getting, his head hung off. He's like, I remember, Pharaoh, that, this guy in prison had interpreted my dream correctly. And so he goes and gets him. And Joseph, here, I'm getting ahead of myself, though. That'll be chapter 41 we'll get to later. But so the bread and the wine, again, very important throughout scripture. It comes up again with Jesus and the communion. The important thing is that last passage here, okay? Even though the chief cupbearer did not remember